Cute.
Hel-
Hello?
Oh,
They can't hear me.
Hello?
well,
Hello? Hello,
hello.
everyone. Hi. Hello. Hi. Good morning. Welcome
Good
to.
morning.
Welcome to. This is why I wanted the noises off because it's very distracting for me. Good morning. Welcome to our very first episode of. What is this called? Friendship and French Roast.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful that my friends are here. I have my friends Soups aka Oleo, and my friend Soup, aka
Good luck.
Tree. Soups and Soup. It is currently 7 a.m. for Soup on the west coast of America. So, so thank you so much for joining us so early.
Yeah, of course.
I've never
I
done anything like this before. Yes, please.
I was joking with my wife and I live with our in-laws. I was joking with them. Oh my God, I completely forgot what I was gonna say because it's just too. Oh, I was joking with them. I was like, yes, I have an engagement tomorrow morning, and it's only super early because my friends on the East Coast are like, oh, let's do a little thing at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. It's a good time to do a thing, and I'm like, guys, guys.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
sorry.
so early, but
No, it's
can-
perfect. It's
yeah,
perfect. I love it.
happy, yeah. But I'm super grateful. Soup actually approached me and asked if we could just chat today, which I'm super. I just like when I was making the poster for this, I was just like, what is this? Like, this is just like my pals are coming on to like talk to me. I just made up friendship and French roast. So this is it. We're talking about your guys' new album,
Yeah.
right? So the new album is called
It's called What We Left
yeah.
by our band, Oleo and Tree.
That's us.
Yeah,
It's been a week. It's just about a
Yeah.
little over a week since release, too.
that's awesome. Very
Yep.
cool.
It released last Friday
Yeah.
at
so
midnight.
It's 10 days.
So
That's
yeah,
so
we're
exciting.
we're like
9 or
right
10
there.
days.
Yeah. So you guys, I know that you guys have collaborated previously. I have had the honor and privilege of meeting you both in person together and hearing you guys
Woo.
sing together. And I think that that's so cool. I think a lot of us have had this like really awesome experience on Twitch where you've been connected with people across the universe. And
Wild.
and
Truly.
so it's like obviously Soups is here in Michigan in the same state as me, and then Soup is all the way in California. You guys met on Twitch, right? So I want to know how did you guys meet? How did this happen? I want to hear the backstory. How did you guys get into streaming? How did you guys meet? How did just tell me your story. I want to know everything. How did you guys get together to work together? What was the serendipitous?
Okay, so I got into streaming in 2020 when most people got into streaming. I streamed starting in the winter in January of 2021. I started streaming art, and that was once I started streaming art and then I started meeting people and making friends and stuff. And then in March of 2021, I got a raid from a stranger. And all of their raid messages that came through said, "You're stealing our brand. You stole our brand. Like, you can't do this. This is our brand." And their name was Super Cool. And I was like, oh my God. Like, you know, when you get a giant raid from a stranger and they're accusing you of something and you're like,
Oh, is this actually antagonistic? Am I actually in trouble here?
Right. But it was great. We hit it off pretty much immediately. Like our communities
Yeah.
really like vibe together and we got along. And then I think how it goes in my memory is that my mom was so like struck by your thing, by Soup's thing. Like there was a Sunday stream after that where I think you were writing April Showers probably. Or maybe you were naming songs from your like whatever project was right before April
Yeah.
Showers.
Right.
And my mom was in that chat or she was watching it or something and like messaged me and my siblings and was like, this is really cool. Like the way that they're making music and like have the community involved in the process is like really, really cool. And I was like, okay. And then I think I came in after that and was like, oh yeah, you're right. This is really cool. And then we're friends.
And we're friends. Yeah. I'm always a little gobsmacked when I don't remember that your mom was the one who was like,
That's
"Hey,
so
actually, wait."
funny.
That is so funny. We love Kim. Kim
I
is
love that.
We do
the
love
goat.
him.
That's
Yeah,
incredible. Your
that is
mom,
so
that's
incredible.
so cool that your mom is like involved like in the streaming space with you. Like
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah,
Yes.
special. Like
it is.
I don't know a whole lot of people who have. I certainly don't. My parents have no idea what I do. So
Yeah,
yeah, so that's really
Yeah.
cool.
I'm very grateful for that. And she's very involved because she knows it's important to me. And so she's
Yeah.
like, and because she sees everybody as a full person, I guess too. So when I'm meeting somebody online, she's like, that's a person. Like that's a human being.
Oh, that's
And
so
like
cool.
she's a very big people person, and like that's kind of stuff is just like her thing. So
hmm
I think it's easy when you're a streamer or like I don't know, just somebody who meets like people all the time that
right,
you can kind of lose that sense of everybody I'm talking to is a real human being
Yep.
who's like
right.
Mhm.
full-fledged and complex and everything, but like she maintains that.
That's so
Um
cool.
so
That is
yeah,
so
it's really neat.
impressive to me.
No,
It's
truly, because
incredibly
it's like
impressive.
you think about parents, right? Like at least for our generation, we're all about the same age, I feel,
Yeah.
but maybe I'm a little bit older, but like I feel like our parents don't really get it. Like they like
Mhm.
that generation like doesn't really quite understand like the social aspects of like Twitch or just any social media really. It's not just posting pictures or like playing video games online. It's like
Right.
building communities and relationships, serendipitously and, just by
Yeah.
chance. So that's really cool. I love that your mom maintains that because, yeah, like you said, it's really hard sometimes. It's like you're talking to chat and you see things rolling, and it's really hard sometimes to get kind of caught up in like the numbers and things like that. So that's really
Mhm.
cool that you have that to kind of keep you a little bit grounded. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
That's total.
100%.
Yeah.
The grounding is really the word. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
I love
that is
that.
so cool.
So
Yeah.
both of you have musical backgrounds. Yes. So I
Yeah.
know Soups sings, obviously, but like you used to sing like as a child. Like how did
Yes.
that? I got distracted looking at Soup getting a cup of coffee. What are you drinking? What is it?
It's Kaylin made me a little latte.
Oh,
We have
yeah.
just recently, I know it's so sweet. We have recently gotten a espresso machine, and it has like a steam like has a steamer so you can steam the milk and all that kind of stuff. So she made me a single shot latte with steamed milk, and it
Cute.
is amazing.
That's
It is so
love.
good.
That's
It is
love.
love.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
she woke up. This is way earlier than she wakes up. Like, if this is earlier than when I wake up, this is like extra early for Kaylin. She is not a morning person. Yeah, this is my Spugs mug.
Oh, cute. I know that person,
Little
that creature.
My my lights are absolutely bugging it out, but it is a
little guy.
Cute.
little guy.
Oh, guy.
Um, yeah,
Cute.
yeah. Sorry.
No, you're great. No, that was great.
Sing as a
Musical,
child.
singing. Tell me
Oh
about
yeah.
your musical background, Soups. Soups. Soups.
Oops.
Thank you. Thank you for this.
I've been singing for most of my life, just in like very casual settings. I have not really been trained. I don't really have any formal training. I was in
Really?
musicals kind of as a kid. I was in a choir all through high school and a little bit of middle school. I joined a local choir. And so I've had like maybe a year or two of choir training
Mm.
that I had separately from choir. That's like choral style singing and was in high school, so that was a very long time ago. Um, and then I did some like I sang at church, and I had this YouTube channel where I would like just me and my guitar, and I would record covers of like my favorite songs, and sometimes I would write my songs, um and then because of that I would sing at church sometimes, and I've just like like just little tiny things like around like when people would hear what I do on YouTube, they would say, "Oh, can you come sing this song at whatever?" And then they would give me a song and I would learn it and go to that event and sing that song. And that's like mostly up until I was like 20 maybe, and then I got a full-time job and stopped doing music mostly. Just like didn't really have the time or capacity for it anymore. Um, and then again, just like I've never stopped singing, but I stopped like performing for all that time.
Sure.
And didn't do, I don't think, unless I'm forgetting like some major thing, which is possible, I didn't really do anything like in any sort of like professional context up until now, like up until I started streaming, like 2021 when I met Soup.
Yeah. That's so surprising to me to hear that you haven't had any like real like formal training, because I just experienced this the other day in Super Cool's channel. They were doing the oh my god, the fish song you were doing
Yeah.
on your stream. The
Oh, yeah.
in French. And
Yeah.
so you were like, we need to get Soups to sing the background vocal or the vocal. And so Soups came in and she like you just like recorded it. Like you just like went away for
Right.
5 minutes. I swear to God, it was like 5 minutes. You sing this entire song in French and it sounds,
Isn't it just a treat?
it's so crazy. Like I just boom, there it was in French. You're like in chat going like, haha, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this, and then you instantly are just like, I'm French now.
And Soup is French now. That
Yes,
is
I'm-
that
yes.
is the story. That's the whole thing.
Oh gosh. So yeah, so that's really surprising. I thought for sure, because I didn't really know your background that well, but I thought that you had more training than that. So that's really surprising and that's really cool. So you actually have like a real natural like ear, like a talent for it, which is awesome. So because I know that Soup, you are a professional instrument player.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Yes, I'm a trumpet player, like classically trained. Like I have a master's degree in trumpet performance.
Yes.
I play in a symphony orchestra, like that kind of stuff. I've been doing music since before I can remember. Like my dad is a pianist and a vocalist. And a violinist, and so like it was always in the house. Like we had an upright piano in the house that I would play on, again, as far back as I can remember. And then I sang in church. I sang in church choir, and I sang solos in church because I was the pastor's son.
Sure.
And like
Yeah.
it's like you end up singing, and like once my dad had learned that I had a proclivity for music. I was in every worship band. I was in every, I was in every production of everything in the church. I was doing competitions outside of the church. And then I started playing trumpet when I was like 9. And it's funny to think that I've been playing trumpet for like 25 years.
That's crazy.
That's bonkers. That like every day almost for the last 25 years, I've, played this twisty piece of metal.
Right.
And yeah, I just like am very passionate about playing music, performing music. The writing and producing music part of that is more recent, relatively. I sort of like, I've been songwriting since I was in high school, just like on and off. And I like picked up the guitar when I was a senior in high school, / sort of a freshman in college, because I was going on missions trips with my church and
Yes.
they needed a guitarist. The music production stuff started in 2020. Like really, like I got Ableton, I got the program in 2019 because I was starting to make a podcast with my friend. And then the pandemic hit, and I'm a performer. That's like my trade. That's like what I do. And performances all went away in 2020. They just like full stop. There was no performances for like a year and a half, 2 years. There was not a single performance scheduled at all.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh, well, I gotta like figure out how to make money and pay the bills, and like music production seemed like the next step. It was like, okay, I already have this stuff, like let's learn how to use it, let's figure out what that looks like. And yeah, so I started music production really like heavily in late 2020 and like
Okay.
the fall of 2020, and hit the ground running. For sure. I think
So,
that my first big like production thing was April Showers. That was
yeah.
like my first
Wow.
Wow.
like
That's
I didn't know
successful
that.
album.
That's surprising to me too. It feels like you guys have been doing this forever. Like you guys are professionals to me. Like it's just like, oh yeah, you've just been doing this forever. So you started music producing like while like with like alongside like with Twitch, like like in tandem.
So I started on Twitch in 2014. I've been on
24.
Twitch.
Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah. Okay,
I've
great.
been on
Yeah.
Twitch forever.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no worries.
Tell me about
Um,
that.
Yeah, I was a big Justin TV watcher.
Oh,
I
sure.
watched
Yeah.
I watched lots of StarCraft content. I was like really big into the StarCraft scene. Watched a lot of Day 9, watched a lot of like, oh God, I don't even remember the names of these streamers anymore. It's been like that long. But like, so I'm a huge dork, like completely. I'm a huge nerd. Like, loved watching people play point and click adventure games and like competitive like Age of Empires and StarCraft and
Age
like
of Empires.
all these like really like RTS, like back
Hell
in the
yeah.
nitty gritty days of esports, League of Legends, Dota,
Oh yeah.
uh, and good morning. Uh, and so I saw what I saw was Day 9 specifically, which is why I bring up Day 9. He started building like a community. Like he was doing something that people weren't doing at the time. This was probably 2012, like 2011, 2012.
Hmm.
Um, and he was like he had a slogan that was like be a better gamer. Like he was trying to not just like improve people's technical skills in StarCraft, which was like one of his goals for sure, but like he was trying to help people find community and help people who game like build connections and become better people and more full people. And I thought that was like, oh, it was really admirable. I thought it was really cool. And
That's
like I
cool.
sort of I remember a couple of years later, I moved out to go do my master's degree. I moved away from home, like far enough that I couldn't just like, go back home if I needed to or wanted to. So I started streaming. I was like, oh, well, like, let's give this, thing a shot. Let's see like what streaming is all about. And like, I didn't know how to I didn't know how to make connections on Twitch.
Sure.
I had no idea what was going on. But it was nice for me. I would stream once a week on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. I'd stream for 3 hours and then I'd go to bed. and I just like played games, like whatever games I could. I like started on a laptop with my laptop webcam and a little
Nice.
like a little mic, like a little headset microphone, and I played Banjo Kazooie and Spyro and like all of these like nostalgic games. And I did that like once a week, every week for like 6 years. Just as a way to play games for my friends and family. Like that was
Yeah.
really it. It was just like I'm in Arizona, away from California where I grew up. Like all of my safety net, all of my friends are over in California. Like if you want to keep connected with me on a weekly basis, like you can come here, we can chit chat. I'll play
Yeah.
some video games. Like it'll be like we're on a couch. It's like super simple.
Cute.
2020 is when I started to like take it seriously.
Got it.
You know?
Okay.
Like,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
um, I like figured out that, I should probably be involved in other people's channels and other people's communities and make friends, and
Mm-hmm.
rating was a huge thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was rating in the way that we know it now didn't exist in 2014. In fact, it
Yeah.
probably didn't exist until 2019, I don't
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Which is like, again, like I can play the old crotchety card. I didn't get it. I didn't get how to make those connections in those years, and I like honestly wasn't working at that way in those years. So
Yeah.
2020 is when I really started. Like I think it was like April or May of 2020 when I like started to like stream a little bit more regularly. I started streaming multiple days a week. I started streaming for more hours, and I like started making connections with people and started
Sure.
like trying to actively grow a community on
Yeah.
Twitch and figure that out. So
Right.
I
So
am a
did
geezer, but
I'm a geezer.
I'm an old man.
So the production, like the music production part of it, so you do you do that on stream and you
Yes.
involve the community a whole bunch. So when did that start? Like when did you decide like, oh, making music with the community is like a good idea and this is really fun and,
Yeah.
you know.
That's a friend of mine, GS Fear, who is still a streamer on Twitch. God, what was it? I must have just like randomly on a stream, I pulled out the trumpet and just played something. And everybody was like, "Whoa! What? You're playing the trumpet?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I don't like talk about this. I forgot that like this is a thing none of you know about me." So he reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, you have a skill." Like
Mhm.
that was cool. You should do more of that. And I just like sat and I brainstormed with him and then with Kaylin for a while about like what would a music stream look like on Twitch? What would that be? Like what would the content be? Would that be fun to watch? Like do people want that? Like
Yeah.
and I think like ultimately, even though it was the trumpet that started it, I didn't want to. I was still feeling very attached to the whole like, no, if you want me to play for you, you gotta pay me kind of mentality because
Sure.
I like am in huge debt for this trumpet thing,
Yeah, and
and it's a commodity.
that's your profession too. Like
Yeah,
that's
right,
how you make
completely.
your money. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I like there were still some fresh wounds from the pandemic happening and gigs disappearing. So like I was a little insecure about it as well. So I was like, okay, well I've got Ableton, I got this program, I've been playing around in it anyways. Like, let's see if people would be interested in watching me learn. So like the first 2 years, like really the first 2 years of my like music creation content was me just fumbling around and
Mhm.
like being really bad. Like looking back, at the time I
Sure.
was so excited and I felt like I was
Yeah.
doing the best thing ever. But like just fumbling around in the program and like learning on the go and making a fool of myself, like for entertainment and like just being silly and lighthearted about like developing a new skill. And I feel like that's really that's what did the thing. Like people were really having
Yeah.
a good time watching me learn how to do the thing.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah.
and that was a huge part of the sort of startup of my like doing music on
Right.
stream
Right.
as content for
Yeah.
sure.
That's so cool. And then so that just kind of ties into so you and Soups got connected, so you
Yes.
accused her of stealing your brand.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
So what
I had a mod who was like, this person is they call her Soups. And that's your brand. We should rate them as a joke and accuse them. And yeah, and it wasn't like I was really into the art. Like I saw Soups as like the little guys, the little scrungly weird guys. And I was
Yeah,
like, this is
yeah.
so cool. This is so creative and so weird. And like I love
Yeah.
that style.
Yeah.
Um so yeah, that was
So
like I had an album that I needed album art for. And I was like,
oh,
hey,
okay. Yep.
can you make album art? Is that a thing that you know how to do or have done before? And Soups was like, absolutely, I've never done that before, but I'll try. And I was like, cool. I've never published an album before, so we're doing great.
Yeah.
and
Oh
and that
gosh.
started that relationship. In terms of like making art together.
Sure.
The making music together thing happened a little while later. I was working on What Changed, which is my first sort of like electronic music album,
Hmm.
EDM album.
Hmm.
And I remember distinctly I was like looking around the community for people who could sing because I wanted to develop a skill of like working with someone else's voice other than mine. And
Sure.
then also like the What Changed really was like partially a solo album for sure, but like I wanted to feature people in the community who had like been a part of the whole process and who had helped me learn and who had helped me change and figure out this like new aspect of myself. So Ika was like,
Yes. I think this is the
hey,
part of the
have you
story that I
heard,
know.
have you heard Soups sing before? And I was like, no. And Ika sent me the YouTube channel that Soups was talking about. And I was like, oh, holy shit. Oh, okay. Wow. Different. Great. Awesome. And I immediately reached out to Soups and was like, hi. Will you sing on a song with me? And we sort of like that collaboration was the sort of like the beginning of the end, as it were, because like Soups also did the lyric writing for that song, and I was like blown
Yeah.
away. Like, oh, I see. Different. This is like a different
That's
level
so
of like
cool.
skill that I don't have, and this is amazing. And yeah, Soups and I did a couple of collaborations after that. I think that, I mean, I might be getting ahead of your questions here,
Nope,
so
I
feel free
love
to
that.
stop me.
This is perfect. Go for it.
And so we like did these like we released Parasite, which is on that album, and then we did Little Bop Thing together, which was just a single, not
Best
on an
song
album.
ever. I'm just saying, Lil Bop Thing
Thanks.
lives in my head on repeat. So
Man, I want to go back and do a remaster of that song with all of the new things that I know.
yeah.
It's one of those
It's so
songs where I'm
good.
like,
It's so good.
oh, I could do so much better than this now. Oh, it's so okay. It's fine. No, we leave it. We leave it. It's good. It's the way that it should be. And then we did a couple of songs on my album Buskin, which is like a more acoustic album, a little less, well, very, very less electronic. And like over time, I was sort of like, the trend was, if I published something and Soups's name was on it, that was the most popular thing. That was the thing that like everybody wanted to listen to. That's the thing that had like the most plays and had the most saves and was on the most playlists, and just was like, okay, well, obviously we have a really good time working together and that's really nice. Like I could design an album that has like a lot more of Soups on it, or we can just make an album together.
Yeah.
So I just sent Soups a DM at the end of 2023. It was like November, December of 2023. And I was like, hey, do you want to do a duo project? You want to make a band? Like, let's make an album. Let's make let's make something. Let's make something like longer form together so that we can like test this water, see if this is something that like we want to do, see if this is something that people want from us. Like and that sort of like started the rolling the ball on that conversation around creating what is now Oleo and Tree.
Oleo and Tree. Well, what a great segue into talking about so the album, we already talked a little bit about it at the beginning, so it's been out since last Friday. So it's been over a week now. So Oleo and Tree. Oleo is Soups and Tree is Soup. So Soups, tell me about Oleo. I want to know about Oleo, and then we'll have Soup tell us about Tree.
Okay. Oleo's a little guy, teaming up with Tree. They are, like, kind of the idea going into this character was, this is somebody who's like kind of impulsive and ready to go and doesn't want to like wait around for things to like be exactly right before you take that first step, get everything set up first. I feel like there's another adjective that we usually say when we talk about Oleo, but I can't remember what it is right now. And that was a lot of the direction that I went into this character. I talked about this at some point, but when we first were talking about these characters, I wanted to like have a character that is separate from myself, because most of the music I write, I'm like, I'm writing about me. Like all the time I'm writing about me. Like no matter
Yeah.
what
Right.
you tell me to write about, I'm like, okay, this is about me now.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to like create a character that is a little bit different from me, because that's not typically like all of those things I just described is not typically my personality. Like I am one to be like a little bit more reserved, a little bit more careful. Like I want to make sure that things are going to turn out right before I like start something typically. So I thought this might be fun to try to write from like a slightly different perspective. And it was, but it was also really hard because, as I say, I write about myself. Um, so that was a fun challenge, and I think as I continued to write for Oleo, we kind of like merged back together. Like we started
Yeah.
here and here, and then like, okay, I'm taking some of these pieces from Oleo, and then just the rest of it is getting filled in by me.
Cute. Love that.
Yeah.
So tell me about Tree.
Tree is the foil, right? So if we've got a character who's impulsive, we also have Tree, who is the like overthinking logic, like passive. And I think that like what Soup says is gonna be true of any sort of songwriting for us is going forward is like we made these characters to like add perspective and excuse me, and allow ourselves to write from a perspective that's not necessarily personal, but like some of the most powerful songs come from those sort of personal experiences. And
Yeah.
so like we although again, Tree is not necessarily me. I'm pretty impulsive. Like I'm maybe a little bit more. It just gives us that ability to try to think from a different angle and try to write from a
Yeah.
different angle and try to speak with a different voice. And yeah, that's been I think that I would agree that our album, although not, the tracks are not in this order necessarily, our album did become more like reflective of us personally
Yeah.
than it maybe
Yeah.
started.
That's so funny. Yeah, well, you
That's what
can
happened.
definitely tell, like in entry 0, right, or the prologue, even. Like you
Yeah.
can you guys set the tone for both of the characters, and you can tell through all the songs and stuff. I mean, I've listened to the album a few times now, and it's like you can feel the different versions of like yourself, like and how reflective it is. And you guys are telling a story of sorts. Okay, so listening to this, I have my Spotify set up to where the songs, they don't pause in between, they overlap each other, which I
Yeah.
feel like, I don't know if you guys intended this, but I feel like that's the way that it's supposed to be listened to. Because you can hear there's like overlap of different songs, and like, is there a specific story that you guys are trying to tell, or is it just more like reflective, or is it a secret that we don't want to? Is it up for interpretation, or?
Yes, there is a story. We are telling a story. But we also want it to be up for interpretation. So
Sure.
we haven't like gone through and said like, hey, here's the story that we're telling. Like in some kind of broad terms, we've talked about it, but I would say, like for me anyway, there's like a more specific story arc,
Yeah.
and like each song kind of tells me part of the story, but we haven't like laid that out, because something that's I think important to both of us is that people who listen, we want our listeners to be able to bring their own stories into the music. And if I'm out here being like, this song is about X, Y, and Z,
Yep.
that
Okay.
it can limit how you are interpreting the music. And I don't think, this is my perspective with most art, I don't think once I make this and give it to you, it's none of my business what you get out of it. It doesn't
Yep.
matter what I put into it, what I was intending with this story, it's now yours. And you get to tell me what it means.
Yep.
Which I love. That's very cool to me. And so I wanted to give people the time to say, hey, this is what this song is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I 100%.
Yeah. I definitely feel for me, I definitely feel like this is definitely a couple of friends, a couple of little aliens out in space that are building a spaceship. This is the way that I interpret it. Like in a spaceship, going through space and just like experiencing life together and sharing feelings and like, you know, growing together, which I think is really cool. And like you're saying, like the two different personalities and like being able to see things from a different angle. And you have a lot of other people on a lot of other artists on this album. Do you want to talk about them a little bit and like the different songs that they're on and some of your favorite interactions or things like that?
Sure. Yeah. We have we love our friends, and we have pretty incredibly talented, skilled friends.
Yes.
It was really such a pleasure to work with obviously all of them. We love them
Yes,
all.
of course, yeah.
We love them all so much. We everyone sort of came about in a different way. Courtney Biller, who is Tracy Naprosky, if you've
Yes.
met Tracy Naprosky on Twitch.
Yes, love
this
her.
is for like everybody.
Yeah.
She has like a master's degree in operatic performance. She is like a classically trained soprano. And I worked with her on another album and was like, I would love to feature your like voice. Not that like the thing that you did with this is not your voice, but like something that like you're actually like I would want, as if I would want someone to write something for me on trumpet. I will write for you on your voice. And so there was this like let me figure out how to do this in a way that like makes sense in this album. So those two tracks are we like we were sort of envisioning like Fifth Element vibes.
Yes,
like,
yes, yep. Yeah, that's
this
what I got.
scene
Yep.
with the operatic singer that like then devolves into this sort of like more exciting rhythmic kind of feel afterwards. And I'm glad that that's the vibe you got, because that's what we were going for.
That was it. That was literally it.
We did it. Hell yeah. With Jam's song, Jambient, it was sort of a process of like we wanted to feature Jam on a track. We wanted to find what track that would fit on. But for that song in particular, it was more like we were writing it, and Soups was writing lyrics, and we were writing melody together, and we sort of like were having this conversation around like, okay, this sounds like it's two different people talking. Like this isn't Oleo singing the whole time. Like somebody else is supposed to be singing here, but we didn't think that it was Tree that was necessarily singing there. Like we didn't think that that was the proper voice for that song. And so we were like, this is the one, like, let's give this one to Jam. It sits really well in Jam's range, like in a technical way. And, like Jam can sort of be this voice that is doing this thing in this song, like in a character way, in a like story way. And so we asked Jam to be on that. Jam absolutely knocked it out of the park. I mean, I didn't say this with Courtney, but Courtney also knocked it out of the amazing, crazy performance. And then I think that with Omni Boy, we just really like Omni. And we wanted to figure out a way to work with him and work him into the album. And so we reached out and we were like, would you be interested in being, I know that we're baby.
So nervous too. Like,
And Omni, who is just like such a nice, wonderful, kind person, was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Come up to my house and we'll come up to my apartment and we'll jam and we'll make music, because Omni lives close to me. So I just like went up and we played on his keyboards
That's
for
so
like
cool.
a day and wrote something together, which was just so special. But yeah, each of them like had their own like really special moments. I remember composing Stranger for Courtney, and then like getting it back for the first time and hearing Courtney sing it and just like bawling.
Yeah.
It's like, this
Oh.
is, I cannot believe, like, the realization of it was just like, whoa. What would you call this? Oh, I like this question. Sorry,
Ooh.
I'm going to be
Nope.
ADHD for two
Do it.
seconds.
Let's do it. Mm-hmm.
Hyperpop? Yeah, yeah. I suppose there are some elements of hyperpop in there. I can hear that. I think that, like, in a technical sense, we probably are dance pop.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what I would classify us as, or like very, very mellow liquid drum and bass.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But like we tend to go, yeah, like it's indie pop, yeah, it's electronic pop, it's maybe like postal servicey, frowy.
Oh, sure.
Um
Mm-hmm.
uh we call ourselves space folk.
Space folk. I like that. That's.
Space
I think
folk,
that
I will
nails
proudly
it.
say.
Super
Um,
Caitlin. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
We in this house call it space folk.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, there are
Um.
so many influences. We can definitely talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So, I guess this is actually good. I was thinking maybe we could, if chat, we've kind of been talking amongst ourselves, but if you guys, for the next like 10 minutes, if you guys have questions for Oleo and Tree, if you have any questions about the album, or just any questions in general, you're more than welcome to ask in chat right now, and I will not answer them for you, but they will.
I'm an Ableton 12 suite user. I love Ableton. I've been working in Ableton since 2020. I'm actually, for the first time this week, going to be foraying out of my most comfortable home base. I'm going to be trying FL Studio to see what FL Studio is all about. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to once again be floundering in a digital audio workspace. But yeah, Ada, just for layman's terms, is the program that you use to produce music, basically.
Okay, cool.
What's your favorite thing about Lady?
Kaylin!
I love this question. It's a good question. It's a great question. It's a good
Oh
question.
my god.
Love and
Oh.
support for friends, and endless love and
Yes.
support for friends and for
That's
all
what I was gonna say.
friends. Yeah.
Like, Lady is like just one of the most like kind and supportive people that I've ever met.
Yeah.
On like not even just on Twitch, just like period.
Just in a general sense.
Yeah.
Just in a whole life sense.
Yes.
This is not supposed to make me cry.
Too bad. Too bad.
Oh man. Yeah, that's
yeah,
really
yeah,
nice
yeah.
of you guys. No, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I met both of you. And I know I said this earlier, but I feel really grateful that I was able to, meet both of you in person together. And like,
Yeah, that was wild.
that was crazy. Like that's crazy. Soups, obviously we live in the same state, so it's easy. I have easy access to her. But getting to see you, Soup, like together, and you guys performing together. That was when you were busking. You were recording busking, and you were going across the country. And I remember just feeling so emotional that it was like I had my own little personal concert with you guys, like singing together. So yeah, that's cool. And I think that it's so cool, and I feel so honored to be in this space with you guys and being able to see you guys grow together and see what you guys are building, and it's really, really cool. So yeah, I appreciate you guys so much, and yeah, I'm glad to be able to kind of have this little whatever this is to talk to you guys about it. Yeah.
We're making it up as we go along.
Whatever this is. Oh man. So
I'm in Michigan.
I'm in LA,
That's
baby.
nice.
I'm also in Michigan.
LA, baby.
Good
Yeah.
luck finding me. I'm surrounded by millions of people. LA, baby. We love LA. We love LA.
Aw, thanks,
It's early
Caitlin.
out here, the state of LA. I'm in a
Yeah.
constant
That's my
state
favorite
of
state.
anxiety and
Yeah.
depression. Sorry, what? Yeah, Lady is super generous. Yeah.
You guys
That's
are too kind. Too kind.
yeah, so true. So
Well.
true.
Chat, if I'm gonna just say this again, if anybody has any other questions about the album or for Soups and Soup, Oleo and Tree, You're more than
Yeah.
welcome to say it in chat now.
Yeah.
I'm from
All the
LA. I don't
questions
trust
been-
air I can't see.
We don't have a smog problem here in Michigan.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I really wish that we didn't have a smog problem out here. Ika asks,
air.
did you have any primary musical influences for this album?
Perfect.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I love the idea that we just both say yes and then we don't say who.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Would you guys like to elaborate on that?
Of you. I mean, the Postal Service and Frau Frau are definitely
Yeah.
on the top of my list. Those two are hugely
Yeah.
influential to me as a songwriter.
Sure.
Period.
Yeah.
But like we also like have definitely talked about like Kenya Grace and Sylvan Esso.
Kenya Grace is what I was
and-
gonna say.
Yeah. There's a lot of this sort of like soft femme, like with a fast beat, a little bit of
Yeah.
electronic production.
Yeah.
Love that.
Oh, something that this is just a quick aside, but like something that like specifically Kenya Grace was inspiring to me is like I'm whatever, as every creative person ever, I've been like fighting with my like what I bring to the table. Like, is it good enough? And like how do I become better? And then I heard when I was listening to Kenya Grace do her stuff, and it's just like soft vocals on a like dance beat. And I was like, oh, I can do that. I don't know why I thought that I had to like be belting all the time, but I don't have to.
Yeah.
So that was just
Yeah.
kind of like cool to see that set up, and then do that instead of like making it really hard for myself all the time.
It was exceptionally fun to, over the year that we worked on What We Left, hear Soups like develop the like vocal style of Oleo and in this group, and really go like, whoa, like that's cool. Like I can see where the shift happens, and like maybe that's because I was doing production on the album and I've listened to it a whole bunch and like really, really carefully. But like there was a moment in recording where I feel like it clicked and Soup started like there it was, and there was the voice, and it just became easier for us when we were writing and recording from then on to sort of like we just could go. We could just push the button and go, and there was the voice, and there was the expression, and there was the sound. That was really neat.
Cool.
from my perspective over those 365 days. Yeah. When his vocal up to
Prototype Zebra says, if you could collaborate with anyone, living or dead, who would it be? Can't be each other. I just put that in there.
Yeah, understood. Oh man, T-Pain. No,
Yeah.
T-Pain! Yes.
I would love to. This is totally not the kind of, I mean, Rimsky-Korsakov, who is a Russian composer who I would love to just go back in time and be like, here are $1 million. Please write something for trumpet, please. Please, God, please. That would be my collaboration for sure. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Hey, Zebra knows. I'm a
Nerd.
huge nerd. I'm a big nerd. For real.
Soups, what about you?
I would love to collaborate with Justin Vernon of Bon
Okay.
Iver.
Yes.
Mhm.
Great
That
choice.
also-
Yeah.
That would be so difficult for me because don't you get it?
Yep. 100%. Yep. Got it.
I don't, but I'll look it up later.
Oh no, I just mean that like in my mind he's so like so good and so creative, in the music he makes is like so beautiful and breathtaking that I like would be afraid to be in the room with him. Like
Oh,
I
super-
don't
okay.
like,
super
I don't
big-
deserve to collaborate with you. Type
Yeah.
Big
that's fair,
intimidation
that's
factor and imposter
thought-
syndrome
I
all
thought
wrapped
that
up
there
into
was, like,
one.
Either there was tea or like, or we were all just like,
You don't know the story about Soups and Bon Iver? Like, well, hello?
I have no idea.
Oh man, that's for
just
another
know.
episode. So- gosh. Okay, this is a question that I wanted to ask you guys too, and I think this is a perfect question to kind of wrap up on, is what are your favorite songs from the album? What do you guys have specific ones? If you can't choose, that's okay too. But like if you had to pick one to and all the rest had to go away, what would you pick? That's I know that's a terrible. You know what? I don't like this question.
If you had to line up your children and
Yeah.
choose all of them but one.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, that is the question.
That's mean.
That's me.
Yeah, that's rude.
That's a very mean question.
If you can't choose, I think that's okay. I think it's okay if you guys can't choose. I think that like the album as a whole is beautiful, and like we talked about earlier, the whole thing tells a story, and it all like one can't exist without the other. I think is a really good way.
I did have you guys choose. That's true. I think I'll say two things. The first thing that I'll say is, please, if you're going to listen to the album, do give it the 37 minutes. Give it the 37 minutes and listen to it front to back in order. Like we definitely designed it in order.
Yep.
Do that. I think that my song, if I was going to leave all of the rest of them behind, is probably Dawn Dusk.
Okay.
That's probably my one right now.
Whoa,
That could change tomorrow. That could change in an hour.
That's the
Because
beauty
these
of it,
are my
right?
children. But right now at 7:56 a.m. Pacific time on a Sunday morning, Dawn Dusk is my vibe.
That's the one. That's the one.
That's the one. Good luck.
Yeah, this one's because there's like so many reasons that I like all of these different songs, right? So it's like trying to pick the ultimate reason. I'll say this feels like a little not a softball, a soft lob, whatever.
Yeah.
I will say Telepathy because I put so much into that song, and so it just means a lot to me.
Yeah. Telepathy is my favorite.
Yeah, it's a good favorite. The production day on Telepathy was wild. That was I think that Telepathy was one of those songs, like there are many pieces of art that are created over a long period of time. Telepathy came together in like 3 or 4 hours or something like that. Wow. It was like that song is lightning in a bottle. And I remember Soup's writing lyrics for it and like singing scratch vocals, which are like that's the thing that you put in the place so that you don't forget how it goes, and then you replace them later with better, cleaner, more well-performed vocals. And this track is just pretty much scratch vocals.
That's incredible.
So right off the bat.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
There's like a little bit of exception to that, but there is not much exception to that in that song. That song was kind of a one-take wonder in and of itself. And I remember listening to it through for like the first time and being like, oh, wow, this has got something else. This is something else.
Yeah.
This is a different kind of track.
Love that.
I just had a thought about it when Lady was asking about the Oleo character, and I was kind of talking about like, oh, that's not me, but kind of me. I feel like thinking about writing that from somebody else's point of view, like allowed me to write it. You know, like that song is me. That's me. That's not somebody else. But if I'm thinking about somebody who's like impulsive and doesn't like is not necessarily thinking through every consequence of every word that comes out of their mouth, then I'm gonna write something different than how I normally write. So thanks, Oleo. Thanks for giving me that.
that is such a gift.
I love that. Well, awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for sharing all of your stuff. Thanks for getting up early, Soup, for for coming out so early.
I'm going back to bed after this.
Like I said, I'm so grateful that you guys spent the time, with me to talk about this. I'm so glad that I got to learn more about your guys' backgrounds and stuff like that. But where can you find the album? What's it called? Give me your elevator pitch for your album.
Do it. I'll get links.
Okay. Our album is called What We Left by Oleo and Tree. It is available on most streaming services. It's 37 minutes long. Great for a commute, great for going for a little run at the gym or going for a little workout. It's like a good thing to like be like, hey, I have 37 minutes. I'm going to do this thing and also listen to this music. It's funky pop, spacey, electronic, nice to sing to, and keeps the rage at bay, or lets the rage go, one of the two. We love it, and we'd love it if you check it out.
Heck
Thank
yeah.
you. I did the artwork. That's very sweet of you to say. I'm glad you like it. I did
Yeah.
the artwork for our all of our album covers that are out there.
I'll say one more thing about the artwork. So on Spotify, you guys have like the animations and stuff too.
Yeah.
You did all those too, yeah?
No, I did not do
No,
all of those.
okay.
I think we did, maybe Soup and I did about half of them, and then the
Yeah,
other
that's about
half
right.
of them we collaborated with our community. I
Awesome.
asked all of the art friends that I could think of, was like, will you make a canvas for Spotify? So we've got Tom Hollow, LB Bops, Natasha Hill,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, my sister-in-law, Firebelly.
Yes,
being
Firebelly.
one.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's one more out there. I'm so sorry.
There's
If
definitely one more incoming. There's
Yes.
Yeah.
we have one
cool.
placeholder canvas and
That's
one
so
more
cool.
that's coming soon. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're very,
So-
very fortunate to have such a
Yeah,
skilled
you
group of
guys-
friends.
You guys have such great, like, you both have like your own communities, but I feel like you guys have a really great crossover, and I think it's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
you guys really get your
Yeah.
communities involved, and so that's really great, and I'm really grateful
It's
to be a
like
part of
actually
that. And
so much more fun. That
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
it's things are better together, right? Like, it's not
Yeah,
fun to do things
100%.
alone, and I think Twitch has really brought that for a lot of us to have like collaborations and even just being able to do this. So, but
Yeah.
yeah. Well, cool. Well, thanks, guys, for being on the very first episode of Friendship and French Roast.
Let's go.
You guys
Thanks for
can
having us.
follow.
This was so
Yeah,
fun.
thank you for being here. You guys can follow Super Cool on Twitch, and you can follow the new Soups also on Twitch, and then also find the album. I linked the Spotify, but it looks like Soup linked them up top in the chat. I will share some. I'm gonna post this on the internet in places, and I'll put the links wherever it is, and then you guys can find it there. But thank you again, guys. Any departing words that you would like to say?
Go listen to the album.
Yep.
Yeah. Hope you love it.
We're
Let us know what you
Oleo and
think.
Tree. Go listen to the
Yeah.
album.
Go listen to
Yeah.
the album.
Thank you for having us, lady.
Yeah, thank you guys. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
thank
Well,
you.
we'll just do this regular sign off. Ending is always super awkward. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Wait, do I just end stream or should I raid someone? I don't know. Is there
Oh,
somebody we should
no.
raid?
I'm never up.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
really
never
have
wait, hold
anybody
on,
on.
let's see.
Let's see. Yeah, let's take a
Friendship.
brief gander. I love gandering. There's definitely. I can see one pal who is a capsule cutie playing some Genshin. If
Let's
that's
do it.
something that
Yep.
interests.
If that's, I would
Yeah.
love for you to pick. Yes.
The name, yes. The responsibility. It is Momo plush. Do I just end?
Momo plush. Got it.
Momo plush. I got it. I posted it in the chat. Momo plush uses she, her pronouns. I think
We'll find out.
we will.
Great. All right. Well,
Yay!
yeah, that's it. Copy the raid message, and we'll go over there, and we will say hey. I'm not sure I know. Oh, invalid username.
Embarrassing.
What's happening? Momo plush.
Oh.
There it goes. Okay.
Yeah,
I couldn't spell. All right, there we go.
You're good.
All right,
Yeah,
guys, thank
same.
you again so much. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This is so
Okay.
awkward to end
Thank
on
you,
like
Thanks, lady.
All right, I'm hitting the button. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.